Okay, yesterday you told us you traveled, and I quote, thousands of light years to get here. Yes. Tell us the truth, or the word, or another meaning. It is truth. I follow off.
Okay, guys, picture this. You're scrolling through your feed at 2 a.m. and you see a headline that makes you stop breathing for a second. NASA asks the church to prepare humanity for aliens living among us. Crazy, right? It sounds like the plot of a sci-fi movie or an episode of The X-Files. But what if I told you that there is actually a grain of truth to this? What if the brightest minds in space exploration actually did sit down with religious leaders to figure out how we'd handle the ultimate truth? I'm Mila, and today we're diving deep into the NASA theology files. Grab your coffee, lock your doors, and let's get into it. So, let's break this down. The internet went absolutely wild a while back with theories that NASA was basically prepping the Vatican for a full-on Men in Black scenario. People were saying, they know something. They know the aliens are already here in human disguise. I love a good conspiracy. You guys know I do. But as your resident mystery guide, we gotta look at the facts. In 2014, NASA awarded a massive $1.1 million grant to the Center for Theological Inquiry in Princeton. Their mission? To gather 24 top theologians from different religions. Why? To literally study how humanity, and specifically the world's major religions, would react if we found extraterrestrial life. Think about that for a second. They weren't looking at if we find life. The tone of the research was very much about when. And honestly, that's almost more mind-blowing than the internet rumors. I gotta ask for a little favor. If you're enjoying our late-night mystery sessions, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It tells the YouTube algorithm that we're onto something cool here. Share this with that one friend who is obsessed with space. And if you really love what we do and want to support my caffeine addiction for these late-night researches, there's a link to donate and support the channel right down in the description. You guys are the absolute best. So, what were these 24 brilliant minds actually discussing? NASA wasn't necessarily telling them, hey, the gray aliens are living in New York. Help us break the news. Instead, NASA is looking at missions to Mars, the oceans of Europa, and using the James Webb Space Telescope to look at exoplanets. The discovery of life could be a fossilized microbe on Mars, or a biosignature in the atmosphere of a planet light years away. But here is the catch. Even if it's just a microbe, the philosophical shockwave would be massive. According to the book released by one of the scholars, Rev. Dr. Andrew Davison, he noted that non-religious people tend to overestimate how much religious people would freak out. He basically said that religious traditions are super adaptable. Most major religions would just be like, well, God's creation is bigger than we thought. But, and this is a big but, guys, what if the life we find is intelligent? What if they are millions of years ahead of us? But let's get real for a second. If NASA is hiring priests and theologians, it's because they're looking at more than just biology. They're looking at the social fabric of our world. Did you guys know that back in 1960, the Brookings Institution submitted a report to NASA? It basically warned that discovering high-intelligence extraterrestrials could cause the total collapse of civilization. It said, and I'm not even kidding, that scientists and spiritual leaders might experience a devastating crisis of identity. But fast forward to now, the vibes are different. I mean, even the Vatican is in on it. Father Jose Funes, the former director of the Vatican Observatory, famously said that the alien is my brother, and that God's creative freedom doesn't stop at Earth. So if the church is okay with it, why the secrecy? Maybe it's because of what people like Haim Eshed are saying. If you haven't heard the name, Eshed was the head of Israel's space security program for nearly 30 years. In 2020, he dropped a bombshell in an interview with the newspaper Yediot Achronot. He claimed that there is a galactic federation and that NASA is fully aware of it. He even said there's an underground base on Mars where humans and aliens work together. I know. Sounds like a Reddit creepypasta, right? But this isn't a random guy in a basement. This is a high-ranking official with top-secret clearance. He says they haven't gone public because humanity isn't ready yet.
So I take it aliens took over our future, right? So you're human.
So, let's connect the dots. We have the 2023 Congress hearings where David Grush mentioned non-human biologics being recovered.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to.
We have NASA officially funding studies on how to break the news to religious groups. And we have pilots reporting UAPs almost daily. Does this feel like a slow disclosure to you? Like they're feeding us the truth in tiny spoonfuls so we don't choke on it? I want to stop here for a second and ask you, honestly, if a massive ship appeared over your city tomorrow, or if the news confirmed that they have been living in our oceans for centuries, what's the first thing you'd do? Would you call your family? Would you pray? Or would you just keep scrolling? Because the reality is, the mystery isn't about the aliens anymore. It's about us. How much are we willing to change our history books? It makes you wonder if those theological protocols are for a future event, or for something that's already happening right under our noses. That's all for today's file, guys. I want to know what you think down in the comments. If we find out tomorrow that we are not alone, how do you think the world would react? Panic or peace? Thank you so much for watching and exploring the unknown with me. A little kiss on your hearts, guys. Stay safe and God bless. See you in the next mystery.